I just need to fix something up.
Okay. Good morning, everyone, and welcome. Good afternoon to those of you who are in the United States. Good afternoon. Good morning on the West Coast, and early morning. Good morning to Trish Rock, our guest today on Transformational Tuesdays. I'm excited to have you here. And I just want to let everybody know that Transformational Tuesdays was started several years ago for me to give back some of what I've learned on my own journey of transformation. And we are all on a journey of transformation. And if you're here, you're actively transforming your life. Otherwise, you would not have found me. So welcome to Transformational Tuesdays, where we will have inspiration, education, motivation, and conversation that is actually focused on the key ingredients necessary for positive change in our lives, which I like to call transformation. And so for those of you who are new to Transformational Tuesdays, I just want to let you know that you can find all of the Transformational Tuesdays calls currently free on transformationaltuesdays.com. And you can just go to the replay button. We have them in audio, and we also have video as well. Since we started this video back in, I believe, May, we've got a bunch of them collecting on the site and on our YouTube channel. So if you would go and like the YouTube channel or subscribe to the YouTube channel, you can see them pop up in your YouTube feed as they become available. But most of them are actually on our website as well. So I'm excited to bring this conversation with Trish Rock, who, let me just read her bio, and then we'll be able to hear from her. So Trish is a modern day intuitive, inspirational speaker, author, and mindfulness specialist who understands that for change to take place in any area of life, energy needs to shift from within. Using the energy of the chakras and her innate intuitive ability, she has transformed her life from near homelessness to thriving abundantly in all areas. Trish passionately supports her clients to rediscover their inner power, truth, and uniqueness so that they can naturally connect not only to spirit, but are free to live life peacefully and powerfully. Trish communicates through spirit to truly uncover blocks that prevent her clients from moving forward. She also uses the tools of tarot, oracle cards, numerology, and the power of the chakra energy system. She also has a beautiful range of chakra candles, inspirational mugs, and has a chakra-inspired oracle card page on her website, trishrock.com, that you can use for free anytime for an intuitively guided message. So welcome, Trish Rock from Australia this morning. How are you?
Thank you. Hello, everyone.
I'm so excited. She got up at 3 o'clock in the morning to be with us today, so you get the gold star for the day.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So first of all, let me just say that some of the people who come to Transformational Tuesdays may not know what the chakras are. So I have some knowledge of what they are. They're energy centers in our body. Can you just give a general overview of what they are and the reason they're so important in our lives?
Sure. Yeah. So we're all made of energy. Everything's made of energy, and we're always emitting waves of energy from us and receiving waves of energy to us. Now, we've got thousands of chakra points in our body, but there's the main 7 chakra points that most people will talk about. I actually work with 9 of them as well. There's an extra 2, but what they are the main points that go through the body that can affect the way your energy is and can affect the way that your external life looks. So I'll just go through the 7. So if we start at the base, which is the base of your spine, is the root chakra. And this deals with being grounded, taking action in life, feeling safe, feeling secure. Then we go to the sacral chakra, which is just below the navel. And that's the energy of our relationships, of our sexuality, of our creativity. It's those areas in life are there. The next one is the solar plexus, which is the center, just above our navel. And that's our power center, really. That's the energy of that is our confidence, is our presence, is our showing up for, with our empowered self. The next one is our heart chakra, which is in the heart area, and this is about love and compassion and forgiveness. Then we have the throat chakra, which is the throat area, and this particular energy center reflects our expression, our communication. It's also the truth of what we speak. So really speaking up about our needs and our truths. Then we have the third eye, which is here, which is your intuition. It's that's what they call it, the third eye. It's like we've got our 2 eyes that see from a human perspective. Then we have our third eye here, which is our intuitive knowing. And we have the crown chakra, which is above the head, which is the energy center for all of our knowing and our connection to when I say all there is, so our root chakra is the connection to the earth. This is our connection above. So they're the main 7 chakra energy centers, and this is where energy comes in. And each of those areas will actually reflect an area of life.
And their color, last week I talked about gratitude, and I talked about the change as we're entering into fall here, the changing of the leaves, the colors of the rainbow. And I said, and the chakras are similar in color to both of those things. So I think the root is red, sacral is orange, yes?
Yep.
Solar plexus, yellow?
Yellow.
I'm going through my test here.
Yep.
Heart chakra is green.
Yep.
Throat is blue.
Blue.
Third eye is indigo.
Purple, indigo.
Purple. Indigo. And the crown chakra
is very pale violet.
Okay. Yeah, so each of them has a color, and each of them has their own energy. And thank you for giving me that, because that's this way everybody knows just a little bit, about the chakras. And so how did you discover the power of the chakra energy? How did you do that?
Yeah, so I think innately we all use them, and don't, even if we're not aware of it. And what happened with me was that I kind of left my previous life and everything about it back in 2009 and started again. And I really thought what I needed to do was tune into my intuition, open my communication channels, express myself more, tap into the knowing. So I was really working a lot on these higher chakras. I didn't know it, but that's what I was doing. And then after about 3 or 4 years, I'd had a couple of businesses that I'd started that didn't go anywhere. And, I was really working hard, but the financial abundance wasn't coming in, and I still didn't have confidence, and my relationships weren't good, and I was an emotional mess. And I'm like, what is going on here? Right? I work so hard. I'm tuned in, right?
Yeah.
And then someone introduced me to the chakras and said, well, you haven't been doing any work on your lower chakras. And that's all where all of the stuff that is not working for you right now, that's where all that is. And I went, oh. So then I learned a bit more about it, and I started working on my lower chakras. and I grounded myself, and I started taking action on things, and I started really working on relationships and my confidence, and everything kind of shifted then. So because I'd already tapped into that intuitive side, I was able to then make really good intuitive decisions, and I was solid and safe. And I thought, wow, there's so many in the spiritual world, especially, there's so many people who are all in the higher chakras and they're not earning any money, and they feel really frustrated and feel like there's something wrong with them, that they can't get their businesses off the ground. But all it is that they're working only on half of their energy. So that's why I thought I need to teach this stuff as well. But it's made a huge difference knowing that any area of my life now that shows up that is not in flow, I know that I can go to a chakra area and start working on it.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I was just talking to somebody this morning, as a matter of fact, who said that a lot of people who are out there, coaches and people who are teaching people to live more abundantly, really are only working in the upper chakras. And people wonder why the abundance isn't flowing in all areas of their lives, and how important these chakra energy centers are. But I kind of skipped over where your transformational journey began, and you alluded to 2009, and your bio says you were nearly homeless. Let's talk about how some of your journey and how you got to where you are when you finally did, as you just said, discover the power of the chakras.
Yeah, well, I think I was up to probably about my third business. Right. And I had some great businesses. I was building mobile apps, I was coaching, I was all these things, but the abundance wasn't coming, and I was still struggling to pay my rent. Right. So, and it's so frustrating when you're out there and what you're doing is really useful and it's helping people, and you're working long hours, and I do what it takes. I get up at 3:00 in the morning, right? Do what it takes, and still the money doesn't come, and you feel, what is wrong? So yeah, there was a time there I was really struggling to pay my rent. I mean, there would be, I remember there was a week there that I only had enough money to kind of feed my dogs, and I just had to live off whatever I had in the fridge. And I'm like, this is awful. Like, I don't want to live like this anymore. It's a struggle. And then you have to show up in your business as someone who's successful, right? So you've got this contrast going on, and you feel like a real fake. So that's when I got introduced to the chakras, and I really shifted everything around. And I also had a lack mindset.
Yeah.
And I was stuck in the problem of the struggle. And so when I got out of the problem and started working on the solution and started to feel abundant no matter what was in my bank account, everything shifted. But I did have to go and live with my sister for a while. I just couldn't pay my rent anymore. So I left where I was, and I went and lived with my sister for a little while, and that's like 3 years on now. I've finally got a place of my own again, after being in shared homes for a few years. But I'm finally on track again now. But it took a little while, and it really did take that. It really takes a shift of energy, but it also takes that shift of thinking.
Yeah, the mindset. Yeah, exactly. So obviously it's changed your life. Now you are living in your own home, a beautiful home. You are flourishing in your business. What else has changed? What do you see happening in terms of relationships, since each one of these centers is associated with some other part of our lives? How do you see that your life has changed in all the areas that you've been paying attention and teaching us?
Definitely. So it is changing. I really do have more of a presence now when I'm when I show up anywhere. I have more confidence. I'm definitely, my emotional state is a lot better. So I used to be very emotional. I guess you could call it a drama queen.
Anybody know one of those? I know a few of those.
So now I can really, and that's all about the sacral chakra. So now I can, even if I get emotional about something, I don't act from that place. You know, I process that and I breathe and I act from a more confident place than those emotions, because that just makes everything worse. If you're emotional and then you decide from an emotional place, that's just not good. My relationships are a lot better with, especially with my family. That really has been flourishing, and I think it's the relationship with yourself as well that's really important, and that's where the relationship with everybody else really comes as well. I take action really easily now, and I take intuitive action. So I'm not just following the steps like this is my goal, this is what I'm going to do. I certainly have goals and visions, but I'm divinely guided.
Yeah.
And I trust all of that. So.
And now what you're just saying goes back to what I said to you earlier this morning. I was drinking a cup of tea, and if any of you know the yogi teas, they have a little message on them. And my message for today said, when we practice listening, we become intuitive. And I believe that that's true. I guess, we have to listen to ourselves. We have to listen to our inner guidance. And we had Dina Proctor on a few weeks ago, and she talked about that as well. Matter of fact, we had everybody who was on the call or is on my list got one of her 3-minute meditations that was about inner guidance. So obviously, as you were transforming and you shifted your lack mentality and your victim mentality into abundance empowerment, how did you learn to tune into that part of yourself, which you now know is your intuition?
Yeah, it's a tough one, because you have to really just trust that, and it's one of those things where you kind of hear you hear the voice of logic and reason, and then you hear the other voice, and it's like, yeah, no, I need to go this way, but your intuition's going, no, I need to go this way. I think it's really a matter of tuning in and being in alignment, or not all the time, but being aware when you're not in alignment and getting back in alignment. So for instance, yesterday morning, I woke up and I felt very out of alignment. So I can feel it now. I was clunky. I wasn't hearing the birds singing. I was seeing the mess. Do you know what I mean? It was,
yeah.
When I'm out of alignment, I feel clunky. I feel awkward, and I feel more negative. Mm-hmm. And I thought, okay, well, I don't really want to go into the day like this. So then I listened to some beautiful music. I listened to a motivational thing on the radio for a couple of minutes, and I breathed, and my energy shifted. I could feel it, and then I knew I was in flow. And so, and you're in flow and you're in alignment when things are more at ease. You get that parking spot. You get all the green lights. You don't care if you are stuck in traffic, because a beautiful song will come on and you can sit there, as opposed to being angry because you have to sit there for 2 minutes.
Yeah, got it.
So I'm constantly readjusting how I feel within myself, because that's how you also show up to everyone else. And if you are in alignment, things kind of show up that you just intuitively follow. You just, because you're in tune, instead of being so for instance, let's go to the traffic example. A lot of people sit in traffic and they're very cross and they're angry, and then they get the road rage, and then they get all the red lights, and then they get all the they can't park anywhere, or they get other people yelling at them.
Mm-hmm.
But when you change that and you're in flow and you're in the car really happy because you get to breathe before you get to or whatever, then you get all the green lights, you get the parking spots,
yes.
you get people stopping and letting you through.
Yes, yes. I think that's all true, and it's a much lighter feeling too when you're in that space of flow and abundance, rather than being in that lack mentality, or that, what did you call it, clunky? You called it
clunkiness. Yeah, but it's also about appreciation as well. And if we can, really, that's something that I'm and that's a big part of my life now and what I teach, and really being grateful and appreciative for everything that shows up, even if it's so-called negative, because it's showing you a different way of thinking, it's showing you a different perspective, and then everything can change from that. So everything, and I'm so grateful for the struggle that I went through, because I have a greater understanding of it now, and obviously the universe really had to give it to me in a big way, because I had such a big block about it.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing too. I was saying, when we were talking, I went for a massage this morning, and it was fantastic. And we were talking about just this, how things come to us, and they are lessons for us to learn on the journey. And hopefully we learn them the first time around. Otherwise they show up from a different package, So I was saying that it seems like we have the choice to either learn them through joy or learn them through pain. And either way, in the end, you have to be grateful. And that's what the gratitude book that I'm working on, and we'll talk about in a little bit, is all about, finding the gratitude in every situation, So
yeah, and sometimes it's a real stretch, but there's always something there. And as soon as you find that, your energy shifts, and then things really start flowing and working. So, but yeah, look, sometimes it really is a big stretch to get to that gratitude. Yeah. But that's the work. That's the work. For so many years, and when I was with my mentors and my coaches, and I'm like, but I'm doing all this work, physical work. I'm working hard. Why is it not moving forward for me? But the work's on the inside.
Right.
The work is that decision in every moment to feel happy and not to feel angry about something.
Right.
It's that you've got a choice in every moment. Do I feel this or this? And that's the work. And it's not easy sometimes.
And it's more difficult for some than for others too. But have you always known that this was going to be your work, helping people to do their work, so to speak? Have you always known your passion and your purpose in this lifetime?
Yeah, well, it's interesting, isn't it? Because I was in the nail industry for many years, since when I started there at the age of 17, and just even as a 17, 18-year-old doing somebody's fingernails, I was able to talk to them about their marriage, that, I was getting 40, 50, 60-year-olds in, so that time of life, what they're talking about, the marriage and the kids, and I was always able just to converse with them and give them advice. I'm like, where's this coming from? So that was always easy for me, and so I always knew from that point of view that I could connect with them on a deeper level than the human level, and that I had this innate knowing about things that I didn't really know where it came from. And that's why in 2009, I knew that it wasn't my audience anymore in the nail industry, because I have a bigger message, and the people who were coming to me for their nails, that's what they were coming for. They weren't coming for any intuitive advice or a spirit connection. Some of them...
that as a bonus.
Some of them appreciated it, some of them didn't, and I thought, no, I need to move on from this. I have a bigger message. So that's when I think it's only been in the last couple of years that I really understood what that connection was. But yeah, I've always had it, but I haven't really recognized what it was. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that's really when you work on your chakras and get all of your energy working, you can really own who you are. That's one of the other things. We don't own who we are, and we know we have these passions and everything else, but we still, especially as women, we still tend to give our souls up for everybody else to make everyone else happy. But, you know, we're important too.
Yes.
And when you can really own who you are and show up that way, life changes.
Yeah. So I'm assuming that all of what you just said is what really helped you to stay on track through your challenges, yes?
Yeah, it really has been, and a bigger vision. So I've got a very big vision of helping a lot of people. And at first I didn't really know how I was going to help them, but I knew I got this actual, like a dream vision of being in front of thousands of people, and I knew that I had helped them in some way. So I didn't know the details of it, but I knew that I had that ability to do that. So that gets me through the challenges, and also you know, I'm aware of the right people always show up at the right time. So then I always turn to gratitude. So in my darkest moments, you know, the right person will just show up, and I'll go, oh, you know, even in my darkest moments, the energy is flowing. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And yeah, you know, you get to a point in life where you are is more challenging than moving forward.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, you think, oh, moving forward or changing my life is really challenging, but staying where I am is even more challenging. So I have to make the choice and move forward. And in some of my, even now, if I have a moment where I think, oh, I just give up, I know that if I'm not doing this work, that I'm miserable.
Yeah.
So that's what keeps me going.
Yeah, I know. And you know, I totally understand that. I totally get that. You know, I don't spend as much time in my studio as I'd like to. But when I'm there, I'm like, oh, this just feels so good, you know, because I make pottery. I work with clay, and the clay is grounding. It's the earth in my hands. It's grounding. And I spend a lot of time at my computer from the other work that I do, the editing and the publishing company and the whole bit. But that is like refreshing. So, you know, and God gave me a great talent in my hands, you know, and we all have gifts and talents, and it's wonderful that you have stepped into a place where you are able to use yours. I believe that we're supposed to be making a living at what we were given, with what we were given.
Oh, definitely. And what you love doing. And you know, when I'm working with people that, you know, it is difficult in the beginning. It's like, but I really love making pottery, but I can't make money doing that. And this is the voices that go in our head. Yeah. But, you know, if you don't think about that and just do what you love, the opportunities come up.
You do.
And you think, wow, I never thought of that. And you just kind of go with the flow. But if you're stuck in those questions, but how will I make money doing that? I don't know how to start. Who would buy it? Who would do this? Then you kind of get... being in the flow is just doing what you love doing and supporting yourself in other ways, income-wise, if you need to, and just do what you love doing. Yeah.
And speak that into existence, you know, speak it into existence, because every single word, Dr. Yvonne Oswald, I think about her book, every word has power, you know, and it's true. It's true. We are at the half-hour mark, so I'm going to invite our listeners, if you have a question or a comment for Trish, you can just press *9 on your phone and your hand will raise. I'll recognize you as we're talking. We can just go ahead and ask you in. And if you're on video, you can either raise your hand, physically raise your hand if I can see you. Some of you don't have your cameras turned on. There is a raise hand at the bottom of your screen. If you scroll over the bottom of your screen, there'll be a raise hand thing there for you as well. So feel free to ask a question of Trish. She's tending to her little dog, I think, at this point.
They're a little bit spooked about being up at 3 o'clock in the morning. Sorry, everybody.
That's okay. No problem. No problem. So, so I would like to know, so you've been through quite the transformation in your life, and what's the first, knowing what you know, teaching what you teach, doing what you do with all the tools that you have, and what is the first thing that you would recommend to our listeners and our viewers to do to begin their journey, their personal journey? Where did you start? What do you recommend for other people to start?
Yeah, I think, really need to tap into what makes you happy.
Mm-hmm.
What brings you joy, and not something that other people are going to approve of,
Mm-hmm.
necessarily, and not to ask those questions. So, like the questions that sabotage the things. So, really write down all those things that really bring you joy. What does bring you joy right now? Whether it be painting or writing. I have a friend who loves going to the op shops and to all the vintage clothes places, and she loves dressing people. She's just amazing at it, and she just loves doing it. And in the beginning, she's like, well, nobody's going to want this, but she's discovered that so many people are interested in sustainable living that to be able to find all these beautiful clothes from pre-loved places, she's got this business starting. So she didn't even think about that in the beginning, or how would this be a business or anything else. She just started doing what she loved doing, and I'm a bit the same. And so the first thing I'd recommend is really just find out figure out, write down, or have a think about what it really is that you love doing, and what brings you joy, and that's something that you can dream about, like even while you're driving or whatever, without the other voices that are coming in going, oh, but that'll never work, and oh, I wouldn't be able to make money doing that. Just whatever brings you joy, do that.
Yeah, well, there's a saying, do what you love and the money will follow.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. But you know what follows first is the joy.
Right, exactly.
And when you're doing something that brings you joy, because now, I believe that's what life is about finding joy. So whenever I am feeling in that darker place, I go, okay, or if I'm feeling angry or irritated or agitated with someone or something, I go, okay, breathe. What can I do right now that will bring me joy? Whether it's patting my dog, walking, having a look at some flowers, watching a bee, whatever it is, what will bring me joy right now? And that actually is the question for life, I think.
Yeah. But that's a really good tip that you have there. When you're in that place of not knowing what's next, or in a place of challenge, and asking yourself, that's going within, what will bring me joy in this moment, and then acting upon that, and diverting the old energy and stepping into the new energy.
Exactly. So, and you can also, when you start thinking about those things, you can also have a look at what areas in your life. So there's two ways you can work out how the energy, where the energy is not flowing. Firstly, you can have a look, write down all the areas of your life that aren't perhaps working, and then you can relate to them to a different chakra area. Or you can also feel in your body what areas aren't working. So for instance, if you've always got a sore throat or a cough, or if you've got indigestion, if you're not swallowing things properly, that's really, you know, about not being able to swallow life at the moment. If your stomach is bloated, or, you know, all these physical symptoms also show up when we're blocked energetically too. So that's another good way of starting. And you know, like whether it's your relationship's not flowing, or your business, your money, you're not opening your heart, you're not speaking, they're great ways to start too.
Yeah, and I love what you said about the throat chakra and speaking your truth. I have a friend who, for whatever reason, whenever she has to do something big that involves her voice, she gets laryngitis.
Yeah,
it's just crazy. You know, so it's that fear. Our fears play into this whole thing, you know, and affect our energy, whether we're talking about the chakras or whether we're talking about, you know, just physical energy and whatnot. It's interesting. So
it's interesting when you observe it and you really look at it, because you know, a lot of people wouldn't see the link up between the laryngitis and the fear of speaking her truth.
Right, exactly. But you know, I love Louise Hay's book. Yeah, Louise Hay, her book that says, the title of it is "You Can Heal Your Life."
Beautiful, yeah.
And it actually, for people who don't know this, it actually like aches and pains in your body, or things that you may be experiencing, anything you may be experiencing physically, has some sort of a meaning to it, just like the chakras do. You know, they have some sort of a meaning, and it really, like, I don't know them off the top of my head, but I know that one, lower back is indicative of financial feelings, financially supported. Yes.
Yes. Yeah. And the higher back is feeling weighed down with problems and other people's weight. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He's got a really great app that I refer to all the time too, which is the Heal Your Life app. And you can go on there, and it's free, I think. You can go on there and you can look up any ailment you've got: sinus, hay fever. I got rid of my hay fever 1 year.
Really?
Because I was so drugged up on antihistamines. This is when I was doing fingernails, and you know, bending down all day, and I used to take 3 of the 24-hour tablets daily, plus the nasal spray, and I was so drugged up on this stuff. And I'm like, I've had enough. I don't want to do this anymore. There has to be a way to stop this. So I looked up the Louise Hay thing, and hay fever was a couple of things, but one of them was overbooking your calendar. And I went, yep, okay, this has got to stop. So I became a bit kinder on myself and less giving, and unbooked my calendar, and my hay fever went. And now whenever it starts coming back again, I go, okay, what am I doing here to overbook myself? So it's really interesting how it works. Yeah. I didn't realize there was an app. You know, right after this call, I'm putting it on my phone. You know that. Let me tell you what it's called. I refer to it all the time. It's amazing. It's called. It's called, and it comes with music. It's called Heal Your Body. Heal Your Body A to Z. I don't know if you can see that. And it's got a big list of every ailment. Heal Your Body. Heal Your Body. Yep. Okay. Amazing app. Okay, I'm going to get that. You know that. And of course my children know whenever they say they've got anything that I'm straight on the app looking it up, and I go, oh, well, you just need to love yourself more. Just
And so let's go there for a second, because I think that's a place where we all get tripped up. Like, you know, I mean, I went for a massage this morning. Over the last 2 months, I have decided that I need this for not just the physical well-being, but I need this for my mental and emotional well-being as well. And I hadn't gone for massage for a very long time. And the first time I went, I felt like somebody beat me up. But I felt like somebody beat me up. But it was something that I really needed to do for myself. So now I make sure that I schedule that time for myself. And it doesn't have to be something as, you know, as big as that. But even just to, I don't know, what kind of things do you do, Trish? Buy yourself a really nice cup, sit by yourself with a really nice cup of tea or something and just relax. What are some tips that you can give us on that? And while you're going into the tip area, what can you give us to empower us to be our true authentic selves in this moment? What would you say are some of the things that you can tell us to do?
Yeah, so really start honoring yourself. And you know, sometimes we have to really get over that guilt of thinking about ourselves and not somebody else, because that's what we've been trained to do, to always be giving to everybody else but not to ourselves. But the thing is that if we're not being kind to ourselves and giving to ourselves, it's very hard for us to give to others. And it comes back. So everything kind of starts with us. So whatever we're feeling or whatever we're giving to ourselves starts coming into us as well from other people. So in other words, if we're being kind to ourselves, other people will be kind to us.
Yes.
If we're being nasty to ourselves and saying, you know, beating ourselves up all the time, other people, that's going to show up. And then we say, yeah, see, I told you I wasn't good enough to get that, because, you know, that it all starts in here. So firstly, really just find the joy, and just know that you can. I mean, when I was really struggling, and I was in the mindset of struggle, when, you know, people would say, look, really go and, you know, be nice to yourself, buy yourself things, have some beauty around you. I'm like, well, I don't have any money to do that. So you have to find other ways to do something beautiful. So like, if you can't sell, I've got some beautiful flowers here. I like to do that every now and again. Someone gave me these ones, but, you know, I still, if I see them on a weekend at the supermarket and they've been reduced and they're, you know, still looking really great, I'll get a bunch for $5, or I'll pick a beautiful flower when I'm out walking and have it sitting next to me. There's ways that you can really honor yourself.
Just going out walking is a way.
Just going out walking, sitting in the sun, taking time out for yourself and honoring yourself, and not having that little voice in your head going, oh, but I should be in there doing something for someone else. No, do something for yourself, even if it's 5 minutes. Take yourself in the car, go sit by the water, get away from everyone for 10 minutes, have a massage, go, you know, have a facial, those kind of things. I love massages. I don't get a lot of joy from having my hair done or having facials. That's not really me, and I'm not really into buying clothes, but I love going and sitting near the water. I love a massage. I love taking myself to the movies every now and again.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Little things, whatever brings you joy.
Whatever brings you joy. And one of the things that you sent me was that you really recommend that people have their chakras aligned and flowing for a start.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely. So you can tell, as I said before, if there's an area of your life that you think it's not really showing up the way you want it to show up, that really means that your energy is not flowing. And to get the energy flowing in those centers is the start of it. Because as soon as and then you have to kind of change your mindset as well. But getting the energy flowing, you will actually start to see different things show up. Things shift really quickly. It's interesting how it works. So as soon as we shift the energy that's flowing to us and from us, the external reality that we see shows up differently, and things could start immediately. So for people that come to me that for instance, if I'm helping them, it's usually the heart chakra is a big one that's closed off. People get hurt and they shut off, and then they don't really realize. So that's a big one. And even with that, people see the changes in life almost immediately, but not with a new partner all of a sudden showing up. But they leave the house and they see the beauty of things, right? You open your heart up to the beauty of things, and then of course when you're seeing that, more of it shows up. So there's those kind of little shifts that really make a big difference in life.
Yeah. So be good to yourselves, ladies. Be good to yourselves.
Yeah. That's it. So
Anyone have a question? I'm shocked that nobody is asking a question. I find this so interesting, and so I'd be like, okay, so tell me how I thought. I have to tell you, I'm actually a part of a class that Trish is giving right now, and it's one of the ways that she helps people to get in alignment with their energy, their own energy, their chakra energy, and she's been doing this. We're on the second month now. We're taking each one of the chakras one a month per month, and
that's actually a really great example of me just following what brings me joy.
Right?
That was just an inspirational idea I had to set that group up, because I said to myself, well, what do I really love doing, and how do I love doing it? Well, you know what? I really love helping people and inspiring them and getting their energy flowing. And I really love Facebook.
Yeah.
And I just put them together, right?
So Facebook Live is a real gift, because she goes on there, Facebook Live, does meditation, does some oracle card reading. Do you have your cards handy?
They're just here. Grab them. Would anyone like a card reading? I'll go grab
anybody
them.
Anyone want Trish to pull a card for you? If you do, just let me know, and we'll have that. We'll do that. Just raise your hand. Press the button that says raise hand, or *9 on your phone. I find this really interesting, because I'm not someone who would normally go to the cards, yet I will confess, I have angel therapy cards here, but I go to them every once in a while, and they seem to give me a message that is either confirming that I'm in the right place, or hope that there's something additional coming in the future. All right, so now I got hands raising all over the place. All right. And okay, and T Block says she'd love to hear. So let's start there. Type in your first name, dear. While we're getting your first name, let me go to somebody else over here. I'm gonna open up that line that it just had there. Hang on one second. Okay. Beth, is that you? Beth Johnston, is that you?
That's me, Teresa. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm well and weller. What a wonderful call. Thank you so much. You said something early on in the call that I just wanted to make a comment about, because I found it fascinating. You said when you listen, and tell me if I didn't hear it correctly, when you listen, you become intuitive.
Right. When we practice listening, we become intuitive.
Right. And just, I thought, wow, like I'm always telling people, listen. So I listened correctly. Listen, because the truth, the need, the moment always reveals itself when you listen and listen well, not just hear, but truly listen. So I thought, it becomes intuitive because you're taking in the right information. You're being fed the information that you're listening to. So it becomes intuitive. Yeah, it's just fascinating. And then following up on that thought, listen to yourself. So I think that's part of what this is. When you say you get up in the morning and, you put your foot on the floor for the first time and, are you happy to put the second foot on the floor? Is something there? Your body is telling you something, and and with all respect, the whole chakra thing fascinates me, but it's not my thing. I don't know enough about it to even have an opinion. I admit that. But if you listen, it becomes intuitive. Your body tells you what it needs, whether it's a massage, whether it's a lovely stroll by the water, whether it's a glass of water, whether it's to sit down and take a couple of breaths, whether it's to listen to somebody else. That it all begins there. It all begins in the listening. In listening. Yes. And an understanding that, the saying, we have one mouth and two ears, that while we love for people to hear us, to listen to us, absorb what we're saying, appreciate what we're saying, the gift is in hearing it from others. Because what you have inside, what you're saying, is already intuitive to you. It's the gift of listening to others, and how you can act upon that. And always within there, I think there's a natural healing, which automatically makes you feel better and energizes you and puts you in the right direction for the day, so that in service of others, you're having your best day, because that's what it's all about. Yes. So listen. And thank you. I'm glad I was on this call so that I could listen and take it in. And I thank you both so much. Awesome call. And thank you for getting up at 3 o'clock in the morning, Trish. That was so generous of you.
My pleasure. Thank you for showing up.
So generous, but to talk to Teresa Velardi, I'd get up at 3 o'clock in the morning too. So thank you both.
Thank you so much. Thanks, Beth. Okay, Tammy, you're up. Okay, Trish, can you pull a card for Tammy? She is anxiously waiting to hear.
And Teresa already knows this, but when I'll just pop this down a bit. When I'm pulling a card for people, they just kind of fly out. So
yeah, they just the one that belongs to you just kind of flies out.
It does. People never used to believe me, but now, there it is. And then now they believe me. So, okay. Oh, this is such a gift. So who am I talking to?
You're talking to Tammy. She's up on the top there. Yeah, a T.
Oh, beautiful. Okay, Tammy. Tammy, this is such a blessing for you. This is the Ace of Pentacles. Now, the Pentacles card is about life and physical things, money, anything to do with the physical world, and being feeling secure and feeling like you've got good foundations in life. And the Ace card is always about new beginnings. It's always a blessing. I'll just make sure you can see that properly. It's an absolutely beautiful card. So what I'm sensing is that you've had a few shifts lately, and I think you've let go of some old beliefs and some old ways of doing things, and that you've completed a bit of a cycle, and you're starting a new cycle now, or you're about to. So maybe this is confirmation for you that that you are starting a new cycle, or to be a bit patient because it's about to start for you. Maybe be a bit more patient. The universe has actually put a hold on all of us. We're been in like a holding pattern for the last week. Being very impatient, going, oh, I want to move forward. And now that energy is shifting now. So we're all moving forward now. And I think this is a real blessing for you. And I'm really, this is standing out here, I'll just get the glare off it. This, her blue necklace is standing out there for me. And that is about expression. It's your throat chakra. It's about expression, and it's about the truth, and it's also about healing. So I think you've really healed some old beliefs, and that you're about to step forward into some exciting new adventures. It's a great card.
She totally relates to what you just said. So thank you.
Awesome. You're welcome.
Yeah. Thank you. Okay. Next up, we have Karen Mayfield. Let me just unblock her line here. Here we go. Karen?
Hi. Can you hear me?
Hi, Karen.
Hello. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay. Yay. Okay. I had to get a puppy still.
All right. So Trish is going to get a card for you.
Yep. Awesome. Okay. Let's see what. Let's see which one just jumped out here. Oh, there it is. Oh my goodness, it just went flying across the room.
Wow.
Okay, so we've got the Seven of Swords here. Now, swords are about thinking, and swords are about planning. And the seven is about creativity, and it's also about coming to some decisions I'm getting. So I'm getting here, if you can see the card, there's 6 swords all lined up, and then one in the middle sort of putting the line down. It's like I'm drawing a line in the sand now with my thoughts. I'm going to choose more wisely what I think. And even though those other thoughts are there, I'm still going to choose what I think right now. And I get the feeling that that you are getting a bit clearer about where you're heading, and about what you want in life, and that what you want to show up in life. So I get the feeling you're a lot clearer about that now, and this is confirmation that you really can draw that line in the sand, or separate those thoughts that are blocking the path. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I mean, I can, I can look at things, maybe not directly, but indirectly. I can see how, how what you're saying is true, because the one thing that I started October the 1st is I start my 92 days of like this challenge of having nothing but positive thoughts every day, and making it a point, and writing those down, and journaling about them. And so then I was like, okay, and now then, this is, the secret is, there really is no secret. So that's the secret to the secret. But the deal is that it's all about your thoughts. And,
it is.
We back those thoughts up with words. So yeah, I can see where it's like I drew the line in the sand on, just totally not worrying about eliminating negative thoughts, just not even really ever going there, because I'm always trying to stay in this positive realm.
Yeah, because the thoughts are still there, and we still, we're all the same. We can have those thoughts, but we can choose a different one, and that's exactly where you are right now. Thoughts truly do become things, because what we think really does show up in some form or other. So to stick with the positive thoughts is good. Yeah.
Exactly. Thanks, Karen. Thanks so much.
You're welcome. Thank you, Trish.
Thank you. Good luck.
Okay. We have a couple more. Do you still want to take a couple more? We're just at the top of the hour, and there was somebody in the video who had their hand up, and I think I lowered it by mistake. So if you could just raise your hand again, that would be great. So, Teresa, I see you. Hang on one second. Let me get you. Okay. Teresa, you're up.
Yeah, I was just going to wonder if I could have a card reading, because things are changing for me, and things are changing because I'm changing my thoughts. Because, boy, you know, sometimes we can go down that rat hole, and it's just not worth it. It's just not worth it. So the best thing we can do is to create better thoughts for ourselves, because we deserve it.
Yeah.
Definitely. And this card just flew out. I shuffled once and it just flew out. I love these cards. Okay, so this is the Eight of Wands. Now, it's a really beautiful card, if you can see that. So the Wands is about creativity and about what we're building, what we're planning, where we're moving forward. And the 8 is a beautiful number. It's about empowerment and it's about abundance. So it's really beautiful. I'm just getting a few things from the cards here. So it's like, I don't know if you can see, there's the 8 wands, they've all got new growth, but there's also like the banners going across. And it feels like, and there's this little young man pointing. And to me, it feels like, you know what, you're about to run through the winners, you know, like at the end of a race, you run through the hands up going, I won. I get that feeling for you that things are working out for you. So you've made a few changes, and you're kind of thinking, is it going to work out for me? This is kind of a confirmation that things are going to work out for you perfectly. There's a bit of this and balloons. It's a good feeling card, and it's like a party and lots of celebrations. And she's a very contented angel. I get the feeling that you've actually done a lot of work around this, and you're now moving forward, and you've got that confidence, but there's still that little voice that going, oh, but what if it doesn't work out? So I think confirmation for you that it is, just go with it and have some fun and celebrate all the work you've done, because I think things are about to change for you.
Thank you.
My pleasure. Go celebrate. Thank you. A good card.
Thanks, Teresa. Thank you. And for those of you who are listening in, sometimes these cards come up. They're not just for the person who is actually getting the reading. The message is for people who are listening in as well and who are part of this conversation. So if you've heard something that relates to you, own it as your own. Yes, Trish?
Exactly. Yeah. And whatever stands out for you is a message for you as well.
Yeah. I have 2 more. Can you stick with us for a few minutes? Is everybody okay for a couple of minutes while we go? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. From area code 715, I'm opening your line right now. Hello?
Hi.
Hi, what's your name?
Hear me? Lorraine from Wisconsin.
Lorraine.
Hi, Lorraine.
And I would like a card, but I'd also like to share that I started about a year ago to schedule my wellness spas in my calendar on Saturdays. And I blocked 4 hours for services, and they have now created a salt spa, and that gives me an opportunity to go into a salt spa of Himalayan salt, and it gives me a time to reflect and think. And so by scheduling it, I make sure nothing gets in the way of what I call my me time.
Beautiful.
That's perfect. Good for you.
And that Himalayan salt spa sounds amazing.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, that's perfect. And yeah, look, you really do have to schedule time in for yourself. If we don't have it written there, it's not, it doesn't come up as important enough, right? So if you have it marked in your calendar, because you're just as important as all the other appointments you have. Oh. All right. I've actually got 3 cards.
Fly out.
Wow.
All right. So these are actually really beautiful. So we've got the first card that came out is the Two of Pentacles, and this is about relationships. And this is about relationships that could be in business or partnership. It's about an exchange of value. So I think it's a good message here about giving and taking, and knowing that there's a flow in life of giving and taking. And even though this is like a value exchange, like money, or it could also be giving and receiving emotions, or helping someone out, you know, like, so if you're going to be giving all the time, you also need to learn to receive. And if you're receiving all the time, it's a flow. So that's what I'm getting with that one. It's about relationships with money, business, or just in generally giving and receiving. The next one I've got is the Six of Swords, and this is a lot of thinking, and the questions and answers you can see in this book here. There's question and as a Q and an A. I'm not sure if you can see that. This card is about stepping out of your mind and allowing your innate knowing of things to answer the questions for you. So instead of trying to overthink the answers, it comes back to that saying, actually, Teresa, that from your tea, it's beautiful. Learn to really listen and all the answers will come. That's really what this card is saying. And the last card is Temperance, and this is about balance, but it's also about out with the old and in with the new. So when we put all these three cards together, I think you're building a new way of giving and receiving, and a new way of receiving value and giving value. And you're learning that new way because you're tapping into a more intuitive sense about yourself, and you really have gotten rid of a lot of old ways of thinking and old ways of being, and you're allowing the new in. That's the message I'm getting from those three. So I hope that makes sense.
Very much so. Very much so. Thank you.
You're welcome.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Doreen. We have one more.
Okay.
Okay. Hello. Beth, is that you?
Teresa, it's Beth again. I wasn't daring to do this, but I am now so curious and excited. I would like a card.
Awesome.
This is just awesome. It is awesome.
It is.
Wonderful. Okay, let's see what comes out for you, Beth. Well, okay.
She's shuffling for you, Beth.
Yep. Oh, here it is. Oh, this is beautiful. Okay, this is the Nine of Pentacles. So once again, we've got the Pentacles card, which is about our foundations and our physical world, which is about money and tangible things. And the Nine of Pentacles, so 9 is about completion. So with this card, I'm the angels talking to me.
Oh, listen.
So we've got this little angel here over this beautiful pyramid of, can you guys see that, or is it a bit glary?
Yeah, it's good. That right there. That's good.
Right there. So there's this angel hovering over this pyramid of strength I'm getting. It's a strong foundation. You've really built some structures in your life that are really quite strong now, and the angel is saying to me that it's okay and you can move forward. The path isn't isn't unreachable now. It's there. You can kind of touch it now, and it's all there for you. It's feeling very abundant, actually. It's feeling very abundant that I'm just trying to get a hang on it. Is there something? Have you been working towards something, or there's something something that's about to start for you, Beth? Is there? I'm getting something. There's something new, but you've been working on it for a while.
Oh my goodness, you are so spot on. I'm the founder and the executive director of the International Women's Leadership Association. We're in our 6th year, and very briefly, when I designed the business plan for it and created my vision of it, I believed at that time that it would be this time that I would be taking another, I don't want to say a major leap of faith, but making another commitment and taking on another responsibility to take the IWLA to a new level. And that's a big deal. There's a lot of decision making that comes in, because there's a lot of responsibility, because there are a lot of people associated with that change, including tens of thousands of members, you know. So it's something that you never want to do recklessly, carelessly, on a whim. It's something that you want to do that you feel so strongly about and so committed to.
Yeah. So that's given me goosebumps. So that's definitely it. So this is really giving you confirmation that you really have built that strong structure now, and it's here in front of you. You haven't got that long path. You know, you've had a 6-year path. It's right here now. It's touchable. So I think you've built something beautiful. Can't wait to see what happens.
Oh, me too. Thank you so much. That couldn't be more positive for me right now.
Oh, wonderful. Great. Thank you.
Indeed.
Thank you.
Thank you. I think you're the angel looking in there.
Oh, thank you, Beth.
Thanks, Beth.
Thank you. God bless.
Thank you. Wow, what an hour it's been. So now, Trish, I know that you have a special offer that you would like to make to the listeners of Transformational Tuesdays, and I'm really excited about this. And I'm learning so much in the class that I'm taking with Trish, and I would encourage you, for anyone who's interested. Trish, can you tell us what you're offering for the Transformational Tuesday listeners?
Sure. So for anyone who'd like to get started on either discovering where their energy's not flowing, or even just to have a chakra balance, but to anyone who's interested in starting to improve any area of their life, I've created this offer especially for your beautiful audience today, Teresa, and as a thank you for having me here as a guest. So I'm offering 30-minute sessions for $35, and that includes a card reading and some intuitive guidance around that. So, and we can really pack a lot into 30 minutes. So I can do appointments via Skype or via phone, or even through this medium, through Zoom, and then you can record it as well. So, yeah. And so to book that, you want to email Trish at Trish, Trish, at TrishRock, ROCK.com. So I am so excited about this hour that we've spent together, Trish, and about the readings. And we have some comments that people made about the readings, going back to just so that we can just give you some feedback. Tammy says a lot of old beliefs and what society says is right versus wrong, and how she's been living a life for others and don't know who my true authentic self really is. Tammy, I'm going to invite you, if you haven't already gotten it, go on to transformationaltuesdays.com
get your 7 keys to authentic transformation journal. And this goes for anybody. Go there, transformationaltuesdays.com, 7 keys for transformational journal. Once you put your information in, watch for the link to pop up. You can download it right on that same page. And then if you want the ebook that I wrote that goes along with it, you can go to teresavelardi.com and you can get the ebook that goes along with the transformational journal. So the authenticity factor is huge, and knowing who we are authentically at our core is where we need to be in this life. We've only got one time around, and as long as and this will help us to really, the readings today, everything that you brought, and that journal and that ebook will really help you to on a journey to finding who you are authentically. So discovering who you are authentically is what Tammy said. She says, I've really started to be very honest, sometimes brutally honest, but it's a huge release, and it takes some getting used to. She says, thanks so much for the confirmation. And Teresa says, thank you so much. I'm in transformation as we speak. I'm working on several things that I want to get out in the world, just trusting our higher power to guide me along. And she's loving Transformational Tuesdays. And I hope all of you are loving Transformational Tuesdays as well. And I'm always open up for ideas on people that you would want to hear from. You can email me at teresavelardi.com. Karen Mayfield says, well, Trish rocks.
Thank you.
So Teresa, without the H, Teresa at Teresa Velardi, VELARDI.com, and I will welcome your ideas and ideas for guests and for shows to be brought in the future. Meanwhile, I want to thank you, Trish, for coming to Transformational Tuesdays at 3 a.m., no less.
No, I know. Thank you so much for inviting me. It's been really great fun, and really lovely to meet all of you.
It's been awesome. Yeah. It's been awesome. We'll invite you to come back at another time. Maybe when, right. That would be great. It would be awesome. So we'll look forward to that. Now, next week we have Lynn Schmidt coming. Lynn has written a book that, and the title is escaping me right now, but she's really a well-known author. She's written several books, and she's going to bring her expertise to the conversation. And it's all about, again, it's a conversation about personal empowerment. So we are always looking to empower and transform each of ourselves. It's about ourselves. Personal power. As we are authentically and moving forward, one step at a time. So again, thank you, Trish, Rock. Thank you to all of you who have come to Transformational Tuesdays. And until we meet next time, enjoy traveling what I like to call the transformational trails of life. Have a great week, everyone.